if you have a goal for yourself, if you have an ambition, you should chase it. You should follow it.
This is insane.
Work hard. You know, you gotta work hard to achieve these goals, but it will pay off in the end, and it's gonna be so worth it. Hey everybody, what's up? My name is Zachary Gutherman. Thanks for tuning in. So the plan today is I've got a Lego set right here. This is the Lego Icons Poinsettia. It's one of their 18 plus little plant-based sets. It's a holiday one. So I picked up this set from Target and I want to build it, and I thought I would kind of bring you guys along as I build it, kind of just talk to the camera, chat, give a little bit of updates, goals, just stuff like that, because I want to get more into creating stuff for me. For those of you that don't know me, I am a full-time videographer. I do mostly sports videography, a lot of video editing work as well. I've worked with several clients, mostly in the sports, specifically baseball realm of things. So yeah, I just wanted to kind of talk to the camera, chat it up, see what happens. So we got a Lego set here. Anyone who does documentary filmmaking will probably understand the point of what's going on here. Is when you're doing documentary filmmaking, when you're filming with a subject, you want the subject to kind of just talk more naturally to the camera. Something that's really important, as I totally screw up opening this box, which is not good because I like keeping Lego boxes, is if you have them do something more comfortable to them, they'll talk more naturally. So I've been wanting to make like just videos for myself for so long now. Even when we travel on tour, I work for the Savannah Bananas, so I go on tour with them and film, you know, games in all the cities. When we go on tour, I would always like I would always film behind the scenes vlogs. You know, in Philly, I made like a whole like long form vlog, and I just never got around to editing it. Never really felt super comfortable doing it, if that makes sense. Which is funny because when I was younger, I would make YouTube videos all the time and like feel great about it. But for whatever reason, I struggled a lot with creating content, you know, for myself throughout this year. So I figured if I want to get into it, you know, off season would be the time to try it out, and why not do something comfortable, kind of take the ease off the pain. And it's a really, really useful tip for documentary filmmaking. I shot a documentary with Zack Hample probably like 2-3 years ago at this point. And we had a regular interview set up, which was fine. But then later on, we gave him baseball cards and just had him, you know, scroll through the baseball cards and like, oh, that's Mike Trout. Oh, I caught his first home run. And that was a much more natural conversation. So that's partially my goal here, but also just, I like Lego. So why would I not film it? So this is what we're going to be building. It is the Lego Poinsettia. I saw this one at Target and just kind of caught my eyes. I used to sell poinsettias when I was a kid in Boy Scouts, so I think that's why this one really stood out to me, but I figured might as well try to build this thing, and hopefully the autofocus on the Canon can catch my face. I really hope this video is in focus. So let's dive in. So it's actually fun doing a Lego set. I don't know if we're going to do this whole set tonight because it is a little late, but we're going to do as much as feels natural. Maybe there'll be a part 2, maybe not, I don't know. But yeah, we're just going to build the Lego set and chat. And it's fun doing a Lego set because I actually started out my career, my life, whatever you want to call it, doing Lego videos. That's what got me into filmmaking and videography. Was I would make Lego stop motion videos. I remember my first one, it was for a Lego Ninjago. It was like a competition, and like the best stop motion would get featured in the Lego Ninjago movie. So I was like, oh, I gotta enter it. And it kind of just spiraled from there. Like, I loved making videos, you know? So I would make a ton of stop motion videos. I would make a lot of long form videos as well. Kind of things like Lego reviews, Lego city updates. You know, I had a whole big setup in my parents' basement back in the day. So yeah, that was kind of like where it all began. And then from there, I fell in love more with the process of creating video, as opposed to just creating Lego videos. And so that's kind of why I got into everything now. And now I'm a full-time sports videographer. I get to travel the world with a camera, filming some cool things. So it's pretty cool, and this feels like a correct full circle moment. So we're just going to dive into the build of this thing. I got the Zoom recorder like on my desk right here, so it'll hopefully sound ASMR-y. But yeah, we'll just kind of see what happens, go along with it. keep it casual and just kind of chat to the camera. First thing I want to note, funny enough, you know, you can take, even if I'm not making Lego videos on my Lego channel, I'm still going to be a Lego nerd. And where are the paper bags at, Lego? They've been promising us paper bags for so long now. And the United States still has not seen paper bags. I watched a Jangbricks video the other day of him complaining about the paper bag situation, which I thought was very funny. So yeah, we're just going to dive into both of these things. So yeah, kind of like I said, I started out my whole, you know, content creation, love of videography, through my own YouTube channel, which was called ZG Brick Films. So that was kind of my creative outlet. You know, I posted on that for years and years and years, got up to, I think my peak was like 2,000 subscribers before I kind of fell off and stopped posting on there, which wasn't really like anything other than just, you know, life happens, you get busy, and you can't always have the time or the money, or in my cases right now, the resources, since I travel all the time, to keep up with just doing Lego as a full-time hobby, which was kind of what I was trying to do with the Lego channel when it first started. And the thing with that is, it was always my goal to reach 100,000 subscribers on that channel. That was just a goal of mine, was to, you know, get that silver play button. So I would watch videos of other people opening up silver play buttons and be like, oh, that's so cool. Like, my goal is to get one of those one day. And, you know, kind of looking at where I'm at now, I don't personally own a silver play button, but I've made content for several channels that have, you know, big amounts of subscribers. I've seen silver play buttons in person. I've touched them, but, you know, still not your own. So I do want to keep creating content, not for that goal, because it just always feels, the past like 2-3 years that I haven't been making YouTube videos consistently, it just kind of feels like something's missing, which is creating content for myself. So I kind of want to get back into that, and, you know, that goal of, oh, like, remember when I was a kid, I had that goal that I wanted to get a silver play button? You know, it would look pretty sick on that wall back there, so who knows. So that's like a low-key goal, but the real goal is just create content, because it's something I enjoy doing. And, you know, I want to be able to provide value, entertainment, things like that to, you know, hopefully to people who watch my stuff, and hopefully people can get something out of it. Because I know for me personally, there's been a lot of creators whose content I've watched, whether it be not so much Lego content, whether it be like fitness content or filmmaking content or camera tutorials or camera reviews. And just so many of those videos have provided so much value to me in my life. Podcasts too, especially a lot of podcasts, especially talk about mental health, things like that, you know. Those have all been super, super beneficial to me. And, you know, I feel like, not that it's like my responsibility to return the favor, and that's so interesting. I don't know why they're having these face inward. I'm very confused by this decision. But, you know, that's not the reason why I'm doing it, is because I've, you know, been impacted by videos, but that's just another motivator. So, you know, those are kind of my main reasons to want to create content again, you know, because I have always done it and always enjoyed it. I've gained a lot from watching content that people create. Like, I don't watch Netflix shows, but I'll watch YouTube videos. And I just want to be able to provide value to people and, you know, just feel fulfilled making things. And it's interesting because I am so lost already here. Don't try multitask. But it's interesting because, you know, I say that and I'm fired up about making content and I want to make content. But then when you know, make content full-time, I basically worked 2 full-time jobs this year making content for various platforms. And a lot of people saw the content, a lot of people enjoyed it, but I didn't have time to make content for my own self. And when I did have time to make stuff for myself, the last thing I wanted to do was edit another video. You know, it's one of those things where, you know, when you do something you love as a job, then you, I don't want to say you get less fired up to make it for yourself, but it's kind of hard to, you know, work a 10, 12-hour day staring at your computer screen editing, and then get home and be like, oh, let's go, I'm going to edit this video now. It's a little harder. So, it's something I want to work on balancing. And I think the big key to that, truthfully, for me, is just, well, don't make your video something you have to edit. I'm shooting this not in log right now. I'm shooting this in Rec 709 on my Canon R3, which, like, is such a stupid statement to say. And, like, years ago, I would have hated myself that I would have been shooting in Rec 709 on a $6,000 camera. But now it's like, if I don't have to do that, I don't even have to edit this. I don't have to throw it in Premiere, do a whole color grade. I don't have to worry about sound mixing and audio tracks and dragging stuff in. I can just pop it in Final Cut, real quick, sauce it out, and be done. And that's kind of the goal with my content. And as much as I would love to make everything the highest, best video in the world, if I want to get my message out, which is more so the reason I'm creating anything anyways, I'm not creating it to be the best in the world, because I create plenty of other content that is high quality. I lost my train of thought, but that's the idea. Like, I don't need to necessarily stress about, am I putting out the highest quality video? So, like, I'm setting a goal for myself for next year, for 2025, is I want to post at least one YouTube video a month on this channel, the ZG Films channel. There's a chance I upload this video to my old channel too, probably not, but I want to upload at least one video a month with ZG Films. There's no rules for what it can be. It's literally going to be whatever I'm passionate about at a given moment. So that could be, say we're going to Fenway Park. It could be, a video of, this is everything I filmed at Fenway Park, and this is kind of a breakdown of how I color graded it. Because that's something that I think would provide a lot of value to people. A lot of people ask me about how I get my colors, and I think that's something I could provide value with. Or if there's, a time where, maybe I'm not feeling super tutorial-y, maybe I do a video like, this is how an ND filter works. Just stuff like that. I want to provide value. Or maybe it's stuff like this, from building the Lego set and just talking about it. So it could be a million different things. Another thing I would love to dive into eventually is kind of like more fitness content. I've had an idea for the longest time to do a video. I have like the title and thumbnail locked down, or it'd be like, how to get jacked as a videographer, as like a full-time videographer, and just kind of do like a day in my life, how I keep up with going to the gym, how I manage nutrition, things like that. And then when you get on the road, it gets more difficult, things like that. Because that's something just, outside of the whole realm of video that I'm super passionate about. And I think that's stuff I would love to share. And that's something that I think the internet really lacks. I mean, I've watched so many full day of eating videos on YouTube just because, like, it's cutting season. I want to see what people are eating. And every full day of eating video, they're like, and now it's 1 p.m. I just ate my first 200-calorie meal. Now I'm going to the gym. I'm like, do you not work? Because these people's job is to go to the gym. And it's like, this is not feasible for a normal person. So that's an area where I feel like I could be, beneficial. And I know it's not like, the best thing in the world would be to, like, best case scenario if you're trying to grow a channel is you want to, like, have your niche, make videos for your niche, but I'm just me. I'm just gonna make videos I care about, and if people care, great. If not, it's not hurting anybody. So that's kind of my idea, plan, and goal with content. So yeah, my goal is one video on my personal YouTube channel, ZG Films, per month, and hopefully it's something that provides value. And besides that, there's not really any rules. They're probably going to be simpler videos, but I don't think there's anything wrong with that. And even looking at the content I watch now, most of the content I watch is simple. I'm not watching Mr. Beast and thinking, oh my god, I wish every video in the world was screaming at me. Like, that's not me. The stuff I'm watching nowadays, I watch a lot of Sam Sulek. It's just a dude with a camera in a car. Which, that's super discrediting to Sam, by the way. Sam is one of my favorite influencers ever. He's so entertaining, and just the amount of knowledge that guy has on cameras, and he's shooting his gym vlogs with anamorphic lenses, like, insane. Like, he's an amazing, like, just camera person, like, video creator. Like, he has so much knowledge about that. Even the put, I know people shit on it online, especially in the filmmaking community. To put a DJI mic on your hat is so smart. Like that's genius, and I'm pretty sure he was the first person to do that. At least the first I've seen to do it. So it's like, that's the kind of content I like. Or I like, things, if it's Pete McKinnon talking to the camera about whatever. I enjoy stuff like that. So I want to make content that I enjoy, and that I would watch. And yeah, I mean, like something like this video could have a million jump cuts and be super fast. I'm truthfully probably not going to edit it at all. If there's any cuts in the video, it's probably because either my mic or my camera is dying or I'm texting my girlfriend. Like, there's not, there's not going to be highly edited, but if the content is something that resonates with someone, they'll watch it and they'll enjoy it. If not, I'm just talking to myself, and that's fine too. So that's kind of my whole outlook on, jumping back into content creation. And then a big thing that I want to do on top of that is my Instagram page. I've been sharing a lot of work throughout the season, and that's been getting, a good amount of, traction. Would love to share more stuff like that. Even just short form quick videos like, this is how you balance a gimbal, or, oh, this is how you use a Hoover's saturation curve, things like that. I would love to dive into as well. That I'm not really putting nearly as much emphasis on, like, oh, I have to, put out X amount a month. I'm just going to post stuff when I care to post it, and things that I find valuable. I kind of set like an arbitrary deadline that, like, once I hit 1,000 followers on there, I'll start posting color grading tutorials, which will probably also get posted on here as longer form content, because I think that's something people care about. But also, you got to get your own clout in there as well. But yeah, that's basically where I fall with all the content stuff. So let's talk about how I got to this point, because, those of you who, if any of you, and if you do, please comment, because I would seriously be, just love to know. Anyone who knew me from my Lego channel, probably knows a completely different me. Kid Zach, Chunky Zach, Lego Zach, Pennsylvania Zach, and now obviously I live in Savannah. So I kind of just want to tell the story of that journey. I think that could be a fun little talking segment to do, and actually it's timing up perfectly because we are just about finished with bag number 1 of our Lego Poinsettia. Look at this. I'll give you guys a quick look at that guy. This is what we got so far, just a little base in there. Yeah, this is fun. I like this style. I'll probably cut the camera, cut the audio, and give you a part 2. We've got bag number 2. We've got new batteries in the Zoom recorder. We've got a caffeine-free Diet Coke. Let's do this thing. Very, very excited. So, yeah, the story. That's kind of, I feel like, what the next chapter of whatever this video is should be. So let's talk about the story, how I got where I am, and things like that. So I went to college, got a degree in TV film production from DeSales University, which is, as I describe it to everyone I meet nowadays, a small D3 college in the middle of a cornfield, which is quite literally what it was. But it was great. I loved it. Had an amazing time there. Met so many amazing people. Literally my closest friends today all came from there. I met my girlfriend, who I love very, very much. But yeah, I graduated from DeSales in May of 2023. Yeah, May of 2023. Graduated from there. And then it's like, now what? So at the time I was editing for Zack Hample. I still edit for Zack Hample. But, so I started editing for Zack Hample, but I also was kind of like, I know I gotta also look for something else, because just like a goal of mine, literally since like high school, it's always been like my dream to like move out, get my own place, move out, start my own life. That's literally always been a goal of mine. So I knew that, like, if I wanted to be able to do that, accomplish that, just kind of pursue that goal, which was very, very persistent of mine, and that's a story for another day. more the why of that. But if I wanted to pursue that goal, I had to make enough money to afford to move out and live on my own. So I was, actively looking for a job, blah, blah, blah. Not much luck. I also didn't really know what I wanted to do. I knew I liked cinematography and editing. Those were my two strongest points. Those are my two favorite things. If you throw me in and say direct this, it doesn't fire me up nearly as much. Same thing with obviously I don't want to be like a boom operator. But so my two big things basically were cinematography and editing. So I'm like, I have an editing job, doing videos for Zach. Let's find a videography, cinematography job. And I've been doing freelance stuff, just for random clients. I had a buddy who's a professional wedding videographer who's very, very good, and he would let me second shoot with him a lot, which was just super great experience for me. So I was doing freelance projects here or there, figuring I needed some kind of job. Ended up applying for, I applied for a million jobs, but ended up applying and getting an interview, which I didn't get very many of those. Because they do not teach you how to do a resume in film school. And my girlfriend is in that same boat learning that right now, actually. She just sent me her resume the other day and was like, hey, can you let me know if this is good? Because I need to start applying for jobs when I graduate. And I was like, you're going to hate me, but... so I helped her out a lot. It's just something that's not really taught very well in college, especially not to people getting a creative degree, because, it's different. So I helped her out. But yeah, I didn't really have much going for me at that time. But I eventually ended up just at a shitty little startup company doing, videography for them, corporate videos, which was really fun for me. Because it was fun and it wasn't fun because it was a small startup company, so I was the video guy, which meant that I was only able to get as good as I forced myself to. So if there was a project that I really cared about, I would put, a good deal of effort in and, make something I was proud of. But if there wasn't, then I really wouldn't. It would be something more like, oh, you have to go film this interview about insert boring business thing. And I would just go set up a camera and a light and call it a day. So that's what I was doing. I wasn't super fulfilled with it, but I was doing that, getting to at least shoot some stuff, and I, was getting shots I thought were decent. Not great by any means, but, good enough. And I was doing that, but still, kind of actively looking for stuff, also editing for Zach on the side there, but, baseball season was starting to end. Because the period I'm talking about is probably October, November 2023. So I'd been graduating for a little bit, just kind of doing my thing. But, baseball season was ending, need more stuff to do and, not loving the corporate video life. And we can't find a piece. But, that basically just brought me looking for more stuff, as one would do when you're looking for jobs. I do not know where this piece is. Okay, we'll put it on without it right now, and I'm sure it'll pop up. Unless it's still in the bag, which it's not. Oh, actually, this is the piece. No, it's not. Oh, that's what I did wrong. Amateur. Anyways, I'm at the point, I'm still looking for stuff, and eventually find that the Savannah Bananas are, they do an internship opportunity basically, and I saw that and I was like, oh, this is interesting, and for whatever reason, something came across me to apply for it. And I do know what I credit that to, but that's a story that, I'd much rather tell the person or the people who really influenced that. I'd rather tell them personally before I just throw it on a random YouTube video. But, for whatever reason, I decided I'm going to apply for this. I'm going to give it a go, see what happens. And I went through the interview process and was offered the internship, which was really, really cool. So fun facts with the Savannah Bananas. So I mentioned I found out about the internship opportunity through Instagram. I found out about it through their Instagram. They posted an Instagram story like, remember, Friday's the deadline, and it was like Tuesday. So I was like, if I want to do this, I gotta do it. Came across me, I'm gonna do it. Was like, fuck it, let's do it. Applied, and here we are. But the crazy thing about that is the reason that, I guess what makes it full circle really, is the reason I was following the Bananas is because Zach did a video at the Bananas, I guess the year before that I had edited. It was the one that Zach titled, the tallest man in sport, or like, I think he called it baseball on stilts, this 10-foot player is something, I forget. But it's like, it was a stilts video, and it's so funny because when you search Savannah Bananas, obviously nowadays, there's a good chance I played some part in making the video. But the number one video that's not from the Savannah Bananas organization that pops up is the Zack Hample video I edited. Which is kind of cool. Kind of a fun full circle moment there. I feel like I've said full circle moment 50 times in this video. It's going to turn into a drinking game. But so that was just kind of why I was following them. And that would be my biggest tip, truthfully, to anybody who wants to get a job in the video creation, content creation industry, is you have to follow people and brands you care about. Same thing with Zack Hample. Like, the only reason I work for Zack Hample as his editor is because I was following him on Twitter, and he posted that he was doing an editing contest, and I was like, all right, I can, do this. I'd love to win some money or whatever. So I entered the editing contest. I ended up winning the editing contest, which puts me in direct contact with Zach. And then a few months later, Zach's like, hey, would you like to edit videos for me this season? And then I've been editing his videos for, I believe we just finished up our third season editing together, which is really cool. So yeah, like, seriously, social media is a much more powerful tool than you think it is, which is crazy because I feel like in school you don't necessarily learn that. And definitely just like this stigma with like what people will tell you is definitely not that social media is the way to go. But I'm telling you from experience, like, every job I've gotten that's been cool has come from social media and not from job sites, which I think speaks volumes. But yeah, so I, apply, get the internship with the Bananas, and I'm like, all right, I gotta like move to Savannah now. So I made the trek in January of this year. So now we're in 2024. So January 2024, I make the trek to Savannah. My girlfriend Caitlin actually rode down with me, and we did a whole little like road trip vlog. And it was really cool because that trip we really grew a lot. It was definitely like, I think looking back someday, if we were to, take a look at what were like the biggest just moments in our relationship, I think for sure that Savannah road trip is definitely one of those moments where we just grew a whole lot closer because, we were in the car together for like 14 hours. And, we're going on this adventure. And then like once we eventually get to the house, when I first moved here, I lived in a rental house with a couple other Bananas employees, which was super fun. It was basically like a college dorm 2.0, like a ton of fun. But just us, like, having that experience of moving in there and, doing all of that, having the road trip, having adventures was super fun. And really, really helped us grow. And, we ended up having to do long distance, obviously, because Caitlin's still in school back in Pennsylvania. But we just grew so close by doing that. And it's really been special for our relationship. Just kind of, to have had that moment and to, really learn that, like, yeah, we can make long distance work because we care about each other. And we love each other more than, seeing each other every single day. That would be easy, but because I care about Caitlin, we're going to make the extra effort to have extra phone calls, to visit, things like that. So our relationship's grown a lot from me moving, which has really been like a blessing because, obviously you don't know what's going to happen when you take a risk like that. But it was a risk I knew I had to take. It was a goal of mine to move out and start my own life. And that was the step I took. And eventually the Bananas hired me on full time, I believe after like 4 or 5 months of interning. I guess they like the work I do, which is cool. And I'm really glad to be a part of this team and, just work alongside so many people, create content that people enjoy. Like, it's really, really rewarding, and getting to travel the world as well. and just kind of grow as a videographer is super rewarding too. And I've learned so much through this organization for sure. You know, I mentioned with the last job, it was kind of like, oh, like I'm only as good as I make myself. Here, it's like I have to, you know, really, really learn my Premiere skills. I gotta also learn Photoshop. I gotta, you know, really make sure I'm on the top of my game. I need to, you know, be able to run backwards down a staircase with a gimbal. Like, just, you know, I don't want to say unheard of things, but like things I'd never done before. And that's something pushing me really, really well. And then just being around a community of like really supportive people, getting to hang out with the players, and the players, you know, obviously, you know, push me in other ways too. You know, if I'm in a hotel gym and I'm running into Danny Hosley and he's like, you know, hyping me up, like it's cool, you know? So very grateful to be where I'm at. And that was kind of where that journey took me. We're moving on to bag number 3 now. You know, if we're going to stick with the topic of Lego and their plastic bags, there's, like, this all could have been bag 1. Easily. Like, so much plastic is being wasted by... This is like a 500-piece set. This is... Okay, 608 pieces. 608 pieces into 6 bags? There's 100 pieces per bag. Like, this is a Lay's potato chip bag. Like, this is actually crazy. Like, look, I'm no eco-friendly person. I truthfully do not care if the bags are plastic or not. I just think it's funny because, you know, Jang made a really funny video kind of roasting Lego for it, and yeah, Lego has been shoving it down everyone's throats that they're eco-friendly now, even though they're clearly not. So, like, I personally just think it's funny, so that's why I'm joking about it, but, like, man, that's crazy. So, anyways, moved to Savannah, get to travel the world, and it's been a blast. And it's really funny, too, actually, because prior to moving to Savannah, I had only ever been on a plane. I'm going to say once, even though technically it was twice because you go there and back. Only been on a plane once in my life, so really didn't know what I was doing there. Had only ever been to the stadiums in Philly, because that's where I lived. You know, had barely even ever traveled, really, for being honest. Like, we never went on vacations, like, growing up, so, like, I'd never really done anything like this. And now, to be in this position where I get to travel, film things, and just have a whole lot of fun every day, it's a blast. And that's something I'm really grateful for. And that's kind of been this whole season. And, you know, it's been amazing. There's really not any other way to describe it other than it's been amazing. I need to figure out how this goes in. Man, it is amateur hour for the Lego building guy, let me tell you. Holy crap. It is crazy to me to think that, like, when I was a kid, I used to build Lego sets all the time. And now I'm, like, struggling to follow the instructions. That's actually wild. I don't know how I did it, but I remember, like, when I was a kid, I wouldn't, like, I would just build them. Like, I wouldn't talk to anybody, like, how I'm talking to the camera now. Not until I was older, I wouldn't even listen to music. Like, I have no idea, like, I don't know, I was just so, like, hyper-focused on Lego, which is crazy. Pretty wild stuff. I think this is an 18-plus set, so I might have screwed myself over by trying to build an 18-plus set while talking to a camera. But we'll make it work. We'll have fun. Can't be that hard, right? But yeah, so I guess for my story, that is basically the gist of how I got to where I am now. And then, you know, obviously once I'm in Savannah, you know, I'm traveling a ton, getting to go to all these cool places, and really experiencing a lot of growth too as a videographer. I think that's been like the main thing. Is just I've experienced so much growth as a videographer, as an editor, as a colorist throughout this year. And so I'm just excited to see where it can go next, you know, excited to see what can come next from all this. You know, I'm so excited for next season already. Like, it's going to be so fun. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm enjoying my off season. But, like, it's such a fun lifestyle getting to go to all these places and, you know, film all these things and just be a part of it. Like, it's super fun, and it's been really rewarding too, because like I said, I've gotten to grow quite a bunch as well. For me, coming into this, I didn't really have a ton of experience editing in Premiere. I was always in college. I was like the annoying Final Cut kid. Like, oh, Final Cut's the best. Apple's the best ecosystem. Like, that was me. And now, like, I'm biting my words. Like, having used Adobe Premiere, which is what we have to use for work. I don't think if I was ever to edit a feature, or if I was ever to edit a short film, if I was ever to edit a sports hype video, it would be in Premiere for sure. Just it's a better software. It can do a lot more, and just like I don't know how to describe it, but like just the amount of stuff you can do is better. Like if I have a color curve, for instance, if I'm trying to create an S curve, get some contrast in my image on just like the regular basic white color curve, I can do it so much better, more accurately, more like fine-tunedly than I could do it in Final Cut. Which is crazy because like my whole life it's like I've missed out on so many opportunities to grow as a videographer, or as just a creator, because I was too stubborn to learn Adobe. And I don't take it back, because Adobe's still expensive and it's a pain in the ass to buy, and like I'm not paying for it when I'm working for a company that uses it. So like I'm getting a free Adobe subscription. So like the thing I hate about Adobe, I don't have to worry about because I'm not paying for it. But it's still really a good software, and I gave it up too hard of a time, I think. And that's going back to like the full circle moment, what I would create content about. Like, a big thing I would want to do with this channel is create content that not only I'm passionate about, but content that I think is personally useful. So like when I switched to Premiere, I was like, all right, how do I make this more familiar for me? Because I'd grown up, I'd learned editing on a magnetic timeline, so I basically had to relearn video editing. And it's like, how do I make this any bit familiar to me? And eventually I figured it out, but there's no tutorial online that is, how to put a magnetic timeline in Adobe. And you can do it. You can definitely do it. People are going to say you can't. I found a way to do it. And it's so funny because whenever I'm like editing a project at work and like someone is looking over my computer screen and is like, oh, like, have you tried this? I'm like, no, like, can you show me how to do it? The second they start touching my computer, they're like, what is this? Because my Premiere just acts so different than the traditional Premiere. But that's what video editing's about. You got to create a workflow that's best for you. So I think that's a piece of content that I could really, really provide value to people, because I'm sure there's a lot of people who struggle making that switch, that would probably find it quite useful. So that's another content idea. But yeah, I think just for me, it's, everyone always says the tools don't matter, and I agree to an extent, but, in my scenario, this past year, the tools have mattered. Getting to use Adobe has made me a better editor. It's made me a much better colorist. Like, looking at the color of the stuff I did in college compared to the color of the stuff I do now, night and day difference. And so I don't remember what my point with this whole story was, but like just that night and day difference, that's something that excites me, and I want to share that excitement with whatever audience is watching this. And it's also just something where like I'm the type of person where I like to keep learning new things and growing. So like I'm never going to be satisfied like just calling it a day. Like I always want to find, how can I increase the quality of what I'm doing? How can I learn something new that I can implement in my next thing? And learning Adobe really, really not forced me because I enjoyed doing it, but like it really got that creative side of me going again. And I know there's still a lot more to unlock, which is exciting. So that's why I'm super excited to see what next year looks like and just how much more I can accomplish, because I think there's a lot more potential in like I don't want to say in like the bank, but like there's just more potential that like I know I could create and that I want to create that I just haven't unlocked yet. So that's a goal for next year. Yeah, and then like I mentioned, just tapping into this, tapping into creating stuff for the fun of it as well, and finding what is my online style, my online brand. A big quote that always sticks out to me is from Daniel Madison, who's a magician, which that's another thing I haven't talked about yet in this video, and we're like, what, probably 40 minutes in? I also do magic. You know, you gotta have a lot of side hustles, in my opinion. Like, if you're doing one thing, that's cool, but you gotta do a lot. Like, I like to do a lot of things to just always keep my mind busy. That way, if I'm not feeling Legos today, I can practice card tricks. So I'm not feeling card tricks, maybe I do one edit. So like I like to keep myself busy, but the point I was trying to make is that Daniel Madison has a really good quote, and he's saying it to magicians, but I think it really, really applies to everybody. His quote is, "You are your brand." You are your own brand. Like, who you are is your brand, and that's just something that really sticks with me, and something that I would love to dig deeper in next year. Is like a big goal of mine, truthfully, is just like really figuring out, like, okay, I know I'm my brand, but like, who am I? Like, not who am I, but like, what is this brand exactly? Like, I know all the things that I like, and the things I like, whether it's Legos, whether it's going to the gym, bodybuilding, whether it's magic, whether it's cinematography, whether it's color grading, things like that, all these things that are me, how do I convey that as my quote-unquote brand to all of you guys? So that's something I would love to really experiment with. And truthfully, just like me talking to the camera right now, I think I'm heading in a step in the right direction personally, because I filmed so many videos in this literal same setup of me talking to a camera, where it's like, I talk and it's like I have to do a million takes, and I'm sweating the whole time, and I'm nervous, and it's just I'm fumbling over words. And like, that's not me, because I'm trying to be, whatever the ideal creator is. And so like, just for me, like, creating stuff that not only am I passionate about, but is genuinely authentically me. So that's a huge goal of mine for the coming year, which is fun and exciting, and something I'm just excited about. But yeah, I don't know what I was trying to tie that into, but yeah, you are your own brand. And so I want to, really bring more of my brand to everything I do. And that's something I think I've done a pretty decent job of so far, but it's something I want to, try it more throughout these YouTube videos, throughout my Instagram posts, and things like that, and really just, grow who I am. If that makes sense, kind of where my place lands in the world of videographers, editors, and all that fun stuff. So yeah, so that's basically my story, I suppose. The kid who started out, as I mess up this piece, kid who started out making Lego tutorials and just doing like, all that stuff, is now moving out, doing his own thing, and making, social media content for the Savannah Bananas, which is super fun. And yeah, just something I'm super grateful to be doing. So what else do we want to talk about in this video? Truthfully, I think we're just about at a pretty decent stopping point. I guess like the last thing I would want to like say, just to wrap this whole thing up, is like, what is the, thesis, I guess, of this whole video? And I think that would just be truthfully to like be true to yourself and like follow your dreams and to achieve your goals. I always keep this playing card, which is the 7 of Clubs. This is my favorite playing card. And the 7 of Clubs actually symbolizes, I don't know if the camera's going to focus, the 7 of Clubs is a playing card that symbolizes that exact message, which is to stay true to yourself no matter what. Like, if you have a goal, stay true to that goal, work hard, achieve that goal. I think that's something that my story really, I hope, resonates, that like that's kind of the mindset that's going with that. And that's just like the biggest message I hope you take out of this whole video. I started as a little kid making Lego stop motions with a dream of, I want to make videos someday, like this is what I like doing, and now I'm traveling the country making videos. things like that, or like, even from a more recent standpoint, like my goal was I want to move out and start my own life for myself. That's my goal. And I made that happen. Took that risk, it's a big risk, moving across the country, relying on savings for the first couple months. Like, that's not easy to do. But that was my goal. And I'm like, I'm going to do it by any means necessary because that's my goal. And I'm going to stay true to myself to follow that goal. So you take the risk and look at the payoff. Now, you get to do all these cool things. You make new friends and, there you are. And yeah, it was a big risk, like I said, traveling across the country, not really knowing, financially how it was all going to work out, not just physically knowing how life works. I've never had a credit score before. And even just like for my relationship, like being far away from my girlfriend, like that's a pretty huge risk, like, because I cared a lot about her and didn't want to mess that up. And because we love each other and we were both still true to ourselves throughout this relationship and we found ways to make it work, then it works. And, it gets you to the point where you want to be. So I feel like that's like the whole, I guess, theme of the story that I'm telling, which is literally just me saying, oh, I want to make more content and this is where I am because I haven't told anyone yet. Like that's it. But yeah, I would say the dream is like be true to yourself and really follow your dreams. Like if you have a goal for yourself, if you have an ambition, you should chase it. You should follow it, and you should every single day work towards that end goal. And it's not going to be easy every single day, and there's going to be days you don't want to, but that doesn't mean you don't want that goal. And it's not linear. I said when I was a kid I wanted to reach 100,000 subscribers. I wanted to like make my own YouTube videos. I literally haven't posted a YouTube video for myself consistently in like 3 years. But I'm still staying true to that dream I had, because that dream hasn't gone away, and just really pushing through, focusing on that, and just staying true to myself while I do it, I could easily like be screaming in your face, this is how to balance a gimbal, blah, 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 and boom, explosions, but that wouldn't be true to me. this right here is much more true to me, which is why it feels natural when I'm talking to the camera about it, I think. Which may just be way too introspective and, but like, this is staying true to me, and talking to the camera at this point feels authentic. It feels genuine, and hopefully someone got some value out of this. And if you did, tell me, because I, truthfully, want people to get value out of this video and hope it does get value, like that's my goal. So yeah, so that I think is the overall message of this video right now, would be to stay true to yourself and, follow, I don't want to sound corny, but like, yeah, follow your dreams, follow your ambitions. I think dreams isn't the right word. Follow your ambitions. I like that better. Because, if you have ambitions, and everyone has ambitions, everyone has things that they, think, oh, wouldn't it be cool to do this? Follow the ambitions, just literally follow your ambitions, do something every single day to get yourself one step closer, and that's going to eventually make the big difference, I mean, even like I graduated college in May. I didn't move to Savannah with my, cool job until January, so it's like those 6 months, like, yeah, they kind of sucked, I didn't enjoy it. I wish it would have happened quicker. But also, it's like every single day I do one thing, whether that be I watch the new Peter McKinnon video on how to, edit whatever, or I, update my resume, fix a typo on my website, update my cinematography reel. All those little things add up, and that's what gets you to where you want to be. And the key, truthfully, I've said it like 2 or 3 times now, but the key, truthfully, is to stay true to yourself, because that's the only way you're going to get, to where you want to be, is by staying true to yourself. And that's something that it's a message that I really strongly believe. Anyone who knows me personally knows how much this card means to me. I know I post pictures of it all the time, but it really is so much more than a playing card. That message and that mindset. And I hope that people, can resonate with that as well. Just be true to yourself. And it doesn't matter who's telling you can't do that, Penn and Teller have a quote where it's like, if they're putting on a show and one person in the audience doesn't like the show, what do? Well, they don't change the show. They don't stop the show. They just say, fuck you, and that's like a really, really good, mindset, is like, if like, you're the only person who knows what your dreams are. You're the only person who knows what your goals are. And if you want to achieve them, by all means, achieve them. You have every right to achieve them. You are worthy of achieving them. You just have to put in the work. And if anyone's telling you not to do it, we're going to quote Juice WRLD now.
And the last thing I wanted to say was, if anybody is discouraging you, putting you down, trying to stop you from reaching where you're trying to be, just pull them to the side, lean over like you're gonna whisper in their ear and just be like, suck my dick!
That's the message I guess I want to end this video on as we approach the end of bag number 3. I think we're going to do half this right now, take a break, come back at some point and finish it. I'll probably record another video. I'll think of some other topic to talk about, but like that's the goal, you know? Is just stay true to yourself and don't let anyone tell you you can't, because the only person who truthfully is going to tell, or the only person who can truthfully allow you to not achieve your dream is yourself. You know, it doesn't matter what the person next to you is saying. It doesn't matter what the person in the other room is saying. It doesn't matter what the person online is saying. You know, as long as you're true to yourself, you can achieve it. Unless, of course, you don't do that. Like, if I was to say, oh, I want to, you know, get big in the gym, and then I come home and eat a pack of Oreos every day, you know, I'm telling myself that I can't do it because of my habits. So you can control your habits and achieve the things you want to achieve. So I think that's kind of the closing message I want to end this video on. So a little bit of backstory about myself, what my goals are with this channel, what my goals are with just content creation in general, and really just that message, a message that I think is very true, which is to be true to yourself, because that is the most important thing, hands down. Hands down, without a doubt, the most important thing when it comes to achieving your goals, when it comes to, you know, getting the most out of your life, is just stay true to yourself. And, you know, work hard. You know, you got to work hard to achieve these goals, but it will pay off in the end, and it's going to be so worth it. And, you know, I don't want to say I hope my story is, like, proof of that, because my story is still just beginning. I mean, I'm young. How old am I? I'm 24. Like, I still got my whole life to live, so hopefully I can accomplish other dreams of mine as well. But this is how far we've gotten with our Lego set. Damn, that's looking good. Look at that. That is so fun. So we have gotten halfway through the Lego set. I turned the page just to see if there are any other instructions. And to add to our overarching real theme of this video, which is that Lego is wasting plastic, you have to combine bags 4 and 5 for the next set of instructions. Why can't you just make it one bag Lego? Like, you're literally killing the environment. Obviously, that's a joke. But, yeah, thank you guys for sticking around and hanging out through this one. I know it's a long video. I doubt anyone watched the whole thing. But if you did, let me know in the comments, because, you know, I appreciate that. And hopefully that means that you got something of value out of this. And, yeah, I really do want to kind of increase my personal content going into the new year. You're not going to see that much now. Besides this video, I only have 2 videos that I'm planning on making. And those are both for my Instagram. I'm going to do a new cinematography reel, which will drop beginning of next year, as well as a full-on recap of this year, which I'm actually really excited about, because it's going to basically end up being all the vlogs I made that didn't get made in anything are basically just become one mega montage. So those are my 2 main pieces of content that I'll be putting out on my Instagram this year. For the end of the year at least. So kind of laying back, enjoying the holidays. You know, I'll be back in Pennsylvania not too far from now. You know, just got to spend time with a girlfriend because I miss her, and you know, I want to be with Caitlin. Like, I love her. But yeah, so that is going to be it for this one. I appreciate you guys listening in. I don't know. I feel like I'm good at talking to the camera, being vulnerable when I'm in a scenario like this, you know, not trying to talk to the camera. And yeah, I truthfully hope you guys got something of value out of that. There will probably be a part 2 of me finishing out the rest of the set, like I said. But yeah, that is going to be it for this one. If you take nothing else out of this video, follow your ambitions. Stay true to yourself. That's the message of Savannah Clubs. Stay true to yourself no matter what. That's it for this one, though. Talk to you guys in the next one.